like to talk about this, especially because it's right in my backyard in California. And I know a lot of you send emails and texts and comments of, why are you living in California? We're working on it. This is not exactly the easiest thing to move. But stuff like this is kind of normal. Now, I'll preface this with I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but what I can be almost sure of, if any of the past is an indication, is not all of it's above board. Remember the FireAid concert that happened to benefit the victims of the fires in the Los Angeles area earlier this year? Well, they raised $100 million at that concert, and now people are wondering, where did all that money go? Well, the reality is not a lot of us really know. What we do know is it definitely didn't go directly to the fire victims. The FireAid organization decided to offload the responsibility to the Annenberg Association or organization. And then that group decided, okay, well, all of this money is going to go to various nonprofits. Now, the goal and the ideal would be that those nonprofits who have the local infrastructure would then disseminate that money to the people that need it. But the question is that actually happening? On FireAid's website, there are a bunch of organizations that are highly questionable, very, very suspect, like the California Native Vote Project, which is an organization that got FireAid money whose main goal is to get Native Americans to engage in the political process. Now, to be fair, the FireAid website said that, hey, well, they're actually trying to get money or aid to Native Americans who lost their homes in the fires, which is 16 people out of 23,000. Now, again, that really doesn't say much other than the fact that the bottom line is we know that there's going to be some shenanigans here because of the highly questionable organization that's giving money to highly questionable organizations locally. Where that ends up leading, not entirely sure, but at the end of the day, it makes sense to keep a watchful eye on this because this is a massive sum of money, $100 million. And I think we all can agree that we would love for it to go to the people that actually need it and not bad actors lining their pockets via these fake charities, if that is the case. Here to comment on that and so much more is political commentator Mahek Cook and Turning Point contributor, rapper, also interpretive dancer, I believe, Topher. Is that also in your wheelhouse? It probably can be. Topher, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Great to be with you.
Mahek, I want to start with you here. Again, there's no real concrete evidence of this yet, but it looks fishy, and this is like at the very beginning of this. But overall, we've seen in the past these charity organizations getting government money. Now, this is not government money, but getting government money to effectively do things that are against the interests of the people that they claim to be helping. What do you think this is going to look like ultimately, or just give us your thoughts in general with this huge sum of money going to nonprofits who are supposed to disseminate the money instead of directly to the victims that need it?
Joe Bob, this is going to be a massive scandal, and I think we need more information. But I was reading some of the money and where it's going. Some of these charities are giving to preschool bathrooms. I have a preschooler. I don't think we need money for our bathrooms. This was supposed to be going to victims today. So I think Katy Perry, she sang her heart out, Jelly Roll, all those singers and rappers need to start demanding and threaten a lawsuit. That is the fastest way for us to have discovery and for the American people to know where that money went, because we know that people are hurting today. They are still out of their homes. There's so much damage. And for the American people, we're not going to be giving and willing to give if you're not telling us where our money's going. I mean, that's going to stop donations, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, there was a group there that was their whole purpose was cleaning elementary school bathrooms, and maybe that needs to happen. But again, I'm not sure that the fire money going directly to that makes a whole lot of sense. Topher, in order to get or in order to apply for these grants, somebody can go to the FireAid website and fill out a 6-question form. In other words, doesn't really look like a bunch of background checking is going on into these quote unquote charities that are getting this money. As a musician yourself, if you were one of the people that were as a part of that concert, how mad would this make you?
Yeah, I'm infuriated because when you think about the people who put their trust in this type of event in an organization like FireAid, and everybody came together to raise that $100 million just for it to be used for money laundering or be pushed through what I call shell companies. Because we saw this with BLM, right? You got this very sentimental movement, everybody's
Mm.
serious about it, and then the money just disappears, and no one has to answer for it. So I hate to see this, but this is a pattern when you look at programs or organizations or nonprofits set forth by socialists, or I would call them leftists, because all they want to do is redistribute the wealth. And we're seeing that happen in real time. And I'm hoping people understand the importance of grassroots, of
Hmm.
organizations like Official Patriot Gear, or other conservative, I would say, movements where we go in and actually assist people where they are. We're not just sitting above in our offices and trying to find where money can be. We got hands on, got feet on the ground, hands to the plow, and we're just putting the money where it need to be. And once again, I feel bad for these people, but yeah, it's their mo at this point.
Yeah, there's a certain part of me that wants to start my own fake charity to see how much I can get corporations to give me money. Being a brown guy myself, maybe we should all start that organization and see if we can siphon some money out of the wokes there.